Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, February 27, 2024. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology, Camila Gonzalez, said St. Vincent and Grenadines has been experiencing its strongest period of sustained economic growth from 2022 to 2024. On the ULP Speaks radio program last evening, Minister Gonzalez said that the economic growth has to be felt by everyone, which the government gave consideration to, among other things, for raising again the minimum wage, which will take effect on March 1st, 2024.
We have to pay attention to the fact that since COVID, we have recovered well and our economy has grown. It's very important to remember that we are experiencing some of the strongest economic growth in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that we've experienced in a very, very, very long time. And you can argue that it's the strongest period of growth that we've experienced in over 50 years, because there have been times when we've had a spike in growth and then the next year you fall back down to average. But this will be, if things go well this year, the stretch of time 2024, 2023, 2022 will be the strongest 3-year stretch of growth that we've experienced, maybe ever. Depends on whose data you listen to. And certainly, if we manage to get past a hurricane or a natural disaster this year and we have strong growth again in 2025, that period will be the strongest period of growth from about 2022 to 2025, knock on wood. That will be the best stretch of growth we've experienced in this country. And that's important for this reason. This is a Labour government. This is a government that is concerned about uplifting poor people and creating opportunities for the vulnerable and creating security and building resilience for the vulnerable people of this country. And we don't want to create a situation where, as the economy grows, the rich get richer, but the poor stay poor. Very, very important that we are inclusive in the growth and development that we're experiencing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at the moment.
Noting that they have done a lot to help the people who are in the government jobs and businesses in the country. Minister Gonzalez says they have also taken care of the vulnerable by spreading the wealth to ensure everyone benefit from the economic growth the country is experiencing.
Remember, this year we raised salaries for public servants. Last year we raised salaries for public servants. This year, we adjusted the tax rate so that people pay less taxes. Last year, we reduced income taxes for businesses. So, if you're in a situation where you say, look, the economy is growing, one, there's more tourism coming into the country, recovery of tourism and additional tourism, 2, public servants are making more money, 3, businesses are paying less taxes, 4, more businesses taking place in the countryside. You can't do all of that and say, but the shopkeeper, the store clerk, the watchman, the agricultural worker, the domestic worker, the person taking care of your children in preschool, their salary must be the same, but everybody else must get a benefit. So we looked at it in that context, and we thought that it is time to adjust the minimum wages again. Remember, we do this about once every 5 years. The opposition did it one time in its entire time in office, once in 17 years. So that's the approach we took. We want to spread the wealth. We want to make sure nobody's left behind in this growth and recovery. And we want to do it in a way that will help the vulnerable but not hurt the business sector. So that's the balance that you have to do. Because, of course, you could always say, look, minimum wage, we want to quadruple it, we want to triple it, we want to, make minimum wages way higher. But if you do that and you make it too high, the businessman or the businesswoman who is paying these people the minimum wage, they might say, I can't afford to pay these new wages, and they might start to let go people. So there's always a balance. How much you want to raise the minimum wage, versus how much you believe the economy can bear at any one time.
Minister Gonzalez said that after a period of consultations on the proposed minimum wage and after they were published to receive feedbacks which they took into consideration and have finalized a new minimum wage, which he said will represent the biggest jump in minimum wages ever in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
A lot of times you hear minimum wage has gone up and people say, boy, minimum wage gone up, but I ain't self-realize the minimum wage gone up because it go up by a little drop. So, yeah, well, maybe I'm making an extra $5 a month, but I notice. That is not what this increase is. And that is what makes this increase so newsworthy. The size of the jump in the minimum wages. And across the board, we have implemented massive increases in the minimum wages. And I want you to look out in March. And I'm raising it now. Because by the end of March, when you get your paycheck, by the end of March, when you get your salary, if you are currently earning the minimum wage in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you should expect to see a big jump in your pay by the end of March, because we're putting these minimum wages in place from March 1st, and we're expecting the businesses to comply. And if you're a minimum wage worker, and you see the end of March comes, and your check, your salary look the same as it looked at the end of February, then that means your employer is breaking the law. Because everybody in St. Vincent and the Grenadines earning a minimum wage is going to see a significant increase in their salary. I'm going to give you some examples. Now, before I give you the examples, it doesn't mean that everybody in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is going to get a salary increase, because a lot of people don't make minimum wage. A lot of people making more than minimum wage. So I don't want you to say, well, boy, I hear Camilo say that that wage is going up 20%, 30%, 40%, and my wages ain't gone up. Well, maybe you are already making more than minimum wage, so your wages wouldn't go up. But we're talking about those people who are making the minimum wage.
For people who work in the preschools and homes taking care of the elderly, Minister Gonzalez said the increase in the minimum wage will be delayed by 1 month so that the government can see what sort of assistance it can provide for these facilities to ensure that they are better able to deal with the increase in the minimum wage.
So there's a little bit of delay in those cases. But let me spread it all out now. Let me discuss some numbers for you. The minimum wages come March will increase by between 20% and 100%, depending on what your job is. And if your minimum wage increases by 100%, that means that it doubles. It doubles. And I'm going to give you some examples of how much the minimum wage will be going up. I'm not saying that anybody making the minimum wage is going to be rich, because if you're making the minimum wage, you're working hard and you're not getting a lot of money. But you're going to see what it is the government has done to put these new wages in place and what it will mean to do. So, for example, I'll give you some examples. If you work in a hotel and you are front desk, receptionist in the hotel, the old minimum wage is $855 a month. The new minimum wage is $1,368. That means that if you are making minimum wage at a hotel as a front desk worker, welcome to such and such hotel, nice to meet you, greeting people behind the front desk, taking the reservations. Your minimum wage was $855. Now your minimum wage will be $1,368. That is a 60% increase in your minimum wage. And that means that you're going up by 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, by $500 a month. That is a big jump. If you were making it something and now they add $500 to that, that's a big jump in the minimum wage. The guest services goes up 20-something%.
According to the finance minister, when the minimum wage takes effect this Friday, no worker in SVG should be making less than $1,000 a month. He said a minimum pension rate is also expected to go up by 14%, which was another promise made in the 2024 budget presentation in January. There are several childhood cancers observed in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, including acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which develops in the bone marrow, and the Hodgkin's lymphoma, which develops in the lymph system, which includes intestines and spleen. This is according to hematologist Dr. Emilis Tamayo, who on NBC Radio Talk Your Talk program virtually today said these cancers can affect different organs of the body.
As I expressed, the first place is the acute lymphoblastic leukemia and Hodgkin lymphoma, but I could say that we have some patients with rhabdomyosarcoma. This is the cancer that involves muscles, cartilage. One of these patients is doing treatment right now. We have seen patients with seminoma involving the testicle area. And also we have some patients that could experience other kind of tumors but are not very frequently here in St. Vincent area. So in the case of the acute lymphoblastic leukemia, the affected area is the blood. We will see an increase in the white blood cell in the blood. In the case of the lymphomas, we will see the affection of the lymph nodes. We have lymph nodes in all our body. In the case of the tumors that involve the reproductive system, will affect the ovaries in girls and will affect the testicle in boys. And the rhabdomyosarcoma can affect any muscle, bone, joint.
Dr. Tamayo said on observation the majority of people believe that a cancer diagnosis means one life is over. However, she says there are better treatment options available the earlier the cancer is detected, as she outlined a few risk factors for cancer in children.
The Pan American Health Organization started this promotion specifically in cancer in childhood to do an advertisement to parents about some warning signs that we have to be pending in our child. Some of these signs could be maybe the swelling of any particular area in the body, the presence of weakness, if you see a pale color in your child, if there is any bleeding or appears any bleeding without any specific reason, the presence of bruise or hematoma in different parts of the body, the weight loss, the loss of the appetite, the presence of fever, specifically fever that is not related to infection disease. So once we can identify one of these signs in our child, the next step will be to go to the doctor. The other risk factor that we can say is the chemical exposition, toxic substance, for example. The frequently infection could generate cancer. The obesity, the unhealthy diet, these are the most risk factors that we can identify.
Dr. Tamayo is pleading with parents to closely monitor their child's growth and development, while noting that the situation regarding childhood cancer is not alarming. She did draw attention to the fact that children in the age range 2 to 16 years should receive particular attention as they can be affected by the disease.
A lot of patients. As I told you at the beginning, we could see maybe around 6 to 7, but it's very important because early diagnosis is better option of treatment for the patients. And when we are talking about children, we are talking about that they can't express what they are feeling. Sometimes it depends of the parents who notice what's going wrong and they take them to the doctor. So it's not something that we have to be worried, but it's something very important, because if we forget that, if we don't pay attention to that, then we will get late diagnosis and late possibility of treatment for children. My main message to the parents will be, please pay attention to your child. Pay attention how your child is growing, how your child is developing. Pay attention to the physical characteristic of your child. If you see something wrong, something that make you feel concerned, please take the child to the doctor. The doctor will always advise you the best. The doctor will do the physical exam. The doctor will send the test that need to confirm or to make sure that everything is going good. But please, if you have any doubt, if you feel worried or concerned about anything, please go to the doctor.
The public is being advised that all health services offered at the Bookament Polyclinic will be directed to alternate health centers within the Pembroke Health District with effect from Wednesday, February 28, 2024 to Friday, March 1st, 2024. Affected persons seeking care were asked to visit the Camden Park Health Center, the Layu Health Center, the Barley Health Center. The Ministry of Health says persons with previous appointments for specific health services can call the Bookament Polyclinic to reschedule. The ministry apologizes for any inconvenience caused during this time. In other local news now, we hear that with the completion of modules 1 and 2 of a professional development journey geared towards the successful introduction of the new OECS Harmonized Primary Curriculum, the OHPC, in the classroom, the stage is now set for primary school teachers and administrators here in SVG to begin Module 3. Module 3 runs from today, Tuesday, February 27th to April 2024, and will focus on supporting quality learning through the new curriculum. The other modules, which constitute the professional development, encompass various topics in keeping with current best practices and educational research. Module 1, quality teaching and learning. Module 2, continuous school and system improvement. Module 3, supporting quality learning through the new OHPC. Module 4, child-centered inclusive practice. The Ministry of Education says each module is conducted through a combination of online learning materials, interactive workshops, and practical hands-on activities. This professional development journey, it says, is specifically designed to equip participants with the necessary knowledge, skills, and mindset to successfully implement the curriculum in primary schools. The subjects under review are language arts, mathematics, social studies, and science. At the end of each module, participants are expected to receive a certificate of completion as long as they meet the necessary standards. The Ministry of Education and National Reconciliation says it is strongly encouraging all educators to take advantage of this valuable professional development opportunity, recognizing the vital role of continuous learning and improvement in building a high-quality education system that meets the need of all students, as outlined by Senior Education Officer for Curriculum, Aldea Gums Dyer.
Now, these professional development sessions are very important as they are providing training for all the teachers. Now, what is different about this new curriculum or the new curriculum development process is that we will be engaged in micropiloting. This means that teachers will get an opportunity to implement some aspects of the curriculum and critique it while the curriculum is being constructed, rather than having to wait until the end. Therefore, we are hoping that this process will allow for a more relevant and student-friendly curriculum for all.
The Department of Labor in the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestries, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labor will be hosting a series of job and career fairs. The first event will be held on Thursday, February 29, 2024 at the Sanssouci Hard Court from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The department says the job and career fair offers persons the opportunity to obtain career advice, job search, business business registration and business support, among other avenues of employment and empowerment. Minister of Labour Subodha Caesar said in this period of marked economic growth in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, there is a need for a concerted effort to align the supply of labour to the work needed to be completed, noting that there is a well-trained cadre of workers in SVG, and the career fair will provide an opportunity for workers to offer services which are currently in demand, noting this is an excellent time to seek employment. Persons within the communities of Fancy to Bayaboo who are interested in being part of the job and career fair are asked to bring along their identification card. The fair is expected to continue throughout different areas in St. Vincent and the Grenadines during the upcoming months. In more local news now, we hear that the SVG police force continues to educate the public on the National Firearms Amnesty, which will take effect from this Friday, March 1st to May 31st, 2024. On the Police Beat program last evening, Assistant Commissioner of Police Trevor Bailey, who is in charge of crime cells, the 92 days gun amnesty gives every citizen of St. Vincent and the Grenadines the opportunity to hand over without any repercussions illegal guns, ammunition, accessories, or any component part of a firearm.
Component part, be it a magazine, be it a slide, be it a firing pin, be it a trigger guard, whatever component part that makes up a firearm. If you have that, we ask that you surrender that as well for the next 92 days. It is a no question asked amnesty. And I want to repeat that, a no question asked amnesty. That is, the police or any of the agents who are collecting a firearm from any person who wishes to hand over that firearm will not ask for any personal information. We're not interested in your name or your address. We're not interested in how long you have had the firearm or how you came about the firearm, how much you might have paid for the firearm, who you got it from. No, we're not asking for any such information. It is, officer, I have this firearm and I would like to hand it over. Thank you, sir. Thank you, mom. Have a wonderful day. And you're out of there. So it is a no question asked amnesty.
On the desired outcome of the National Firearms Amnesty, ACP Bailey says citizen security is of paramount importance and that is the primary objective of the amnesty.
And the security of the nation, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, all its citizens, its visitors alike, to ensure that we go about traversing the streets, the mountains, the beaches, wherever we traverse in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That is done in a very peaceful environment. You know? So that is our primary objective, to ensure citizens' security. Likewise, ridding the streets of all of the illegal firearms that are out there among the general population. So in a sense, we strive to achieve that much.
Thank you very much. So that these are important facts that we need all citizens to know, because sometimes when people hear things like that, they slight them or they take it as always another strategy to make this look good or who look bad. But these things are very important because, as we can see, that we have an issue with illegal firearms in our country, and we cannot just stand and sit idly by and allow these persons to overrun our society, right? And it is important that the general public, the law-abiding citizens, those who don't have any of those illegal firearms and do not want any and would not even seek to get any, understand why we are doing it, so that they themselves will get on board to assist the police in, achieving the desired outcome. So I'm really thankful that you would have explained so that persons will know what it is really about.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Hawkins Nanton, who was also on the program, said the public's response to the consultations on the gun amnesty has been positive.
We have been out in the field And I can tell you, it's interesting to hear the public's response.
Right.
The public has actually embraced the police, coming directly to them, hearing their cries, hearing their pain, and expressing concerns that sometimes attention is not readily being given to these direct concerns that the public may have. And just listening to mothers, the man on the street, the average worker, the carpenter, the masons, because sometimes when we go out and interact with members of the public, we actually meet guys coming home from work who may be a daily paid laborer, and he or she, they have been able to express some serious concerns to us. And by having direct feedback, we are now in a better position more than any other time in the history of the organization, because we have done walkthrough before. We have done town hall meetings before. But never in the history, if we are to be honest, in the history of the organization, we have gone to so many communities. Yes, that is not to say that we have not reached out to the public before, but we have taken this so serious, this amnesty awareness or sensitization so serious, that we have decided that we are going to pull out all stops to ensure that we reach every member of the public directly.
As part of the continued community outreach program to sensitize the public about the National Firearms Amnesty, members of the SVG Police Force, in collaboration with the National Commission on Crime Prevention and other partners, will conduct a walkabout from 4 p.m. and a town hall meeting from 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, February 29, 2024 in the Edinburgh Otley Hall area. The venue for the town hall meeting will be the Edinburgh Hart Court. In other police news, we hear that in terms of murders committed between 2021 to 2023, the statistics have shown that more than 100 were recorded within the 3-year period, with more than 75% of the victims being young men. This is according to Acting Commissioner of Police in charge of crime, Trevor Bailey, who was speaking at a town hall meeting in Chateaubelair recently.
Losing a lot of our young men to the gun violence unnecessarily. So, if our young men who supposed to be the next workforce, the next labor force, if you're losing them that rapidly, who's going to work to build citizens and units? We're going to leave it up only to the ladies. There's some work that we just have to do as men. We just have to live. And how could we sustain a society if we don't have males? Who's going to make the next young kids, Francis? You and I, old men now, we retire from that. So we need our young men to increase the population. Or we become like some countries who have to encourage people to come in, because fertility rate is just done. So we want our young people. Fortunately for North Leeward has not been experiencing the sort of violence that we see, let's say, in the south and in the central cities and areas. And that is a good thing for North Leeward. It tells me, though, that the people of North Leeward seems to have it right.
Responding to a question about ways to prevent young people from getting involved in criminal activities and possible solutions to the problem, head of the Police Public Relations Department, Superintendent Junior Simmons, said that the SVG Police Force is actively trying to steer today's youth in the right direction through a number of initiatives such as the Police Youth Clubs, the Pan Against Crime program, and various summer programs.
teach pan in the school as well, and other schools, on the leeward end. Teach them how to play pan, because we know that the pan is an instrument that can be used to positively impact the young people, because there are a lot of different influences out there for that young people can fall victim to. So the police, we realize that, and we realize that the young people, they are the future of citizen grading. So we have to, from a very young age, steer them into the right direction so that they can grow up to be positive role models in citizens and event age. That's why every year we hold the largest summer program in citizen grading police force. We have the band summer program, the Coast Guard summer program, the Police Youth Club camp summer programs, the anti-traffic and positive summer program, and other programs that we hold to ensure that during the summer break, the school break, that our young people, they are engaged positively.
Superintendent of Police and Divisional Commander for the Northwestern Division, Juliana Charles, said from January 2022 to December 2023, they have seen a rise in criminal activities in the Northwestern Division.
During that time, we recorded a total of 230 crimes compared to 187 crimes in the same period in 2022, indicating a 23% increase. Analyzing the statistics, we observe a slight decrease in the total number of crimes reported at Spring Village for 2023, with 21 crimes compared to 23 in 2022, marking a 9% decrease. On the other hand, Rosal experienced an increase in reported crimes, with 41 crimes in 2023 compared to 31 in 2022, representing a 32% rise. Similarly, Chateaubelair saw an increase in reported crimes, with 168 crimes in 2023 compared to 133 in 2022, reflecting a 26% increase. The most prevalent crimes across all our stations in the divisions are theft and assault bodily harm.
ASP Charles said they have also observed a trend of disagreements turning into violent acts, especially among siblings and spouses. However, she noted that the majority of the conflicts in the area stem from issues with land, home ownership, etc. ACP Charles says a major challenge in the division is a lack of manpower and calls for more police patrols and staffing, which he said will help them to carry out their duties more efficiently.
I actually see that most of these assault bodily harms, they are from within families, among siblings and spouses. It's not that we are fighting against each other, but it's within a family setting. Additionally, farmers in our division continue to face issues with predatory larceny. To address this problem, the Ministry of Agriculture will collaborate with the police, utilizing ICTs for improved protection against predatory larceny. Efforts are underway to register farmers and establish their ownership of lands, especially for those who have been farming without official documentation. And we have noticed that most farmers, they don't own a piece of land, and therefore it kind of preventing them from being a registered farmer, so that they can help to protect their business of theft and so on, okay?
ASP Charles also used the opportunity to urge parents to talk to their children about the harmful effects of drugs and violence and encourage persons in the area who are in possession of illegal firearms to hand them over during the gun amnesty period.
Also to encourage them that if they have a firearm, to hand it in, because we know of recent where we have an incident incident with our school children, with the firearm issue, and just only this year, I received a call from a particular school where a child is posting firearm on the internet. So we know that they are our children and they are our most valuable resources, and we have to make whatever problems we have only in the bud so that they won't fester and get out of hand. So far, we are a peaceful community, and as Mr. Poole said, we don't have that kind of violence where other communities are experiencing, and we must thank God for that. And I just want to encourage the community of North Leeward, Northwestern, to continue the good work and to look out for each other. If you see something, you report it.